They told him it was just a natural part of getting older. Feeling tired, performing differently, not feeling like himself anymore. All brushed off as normal for your age. The doctor said, barely making eye contact. But within 3 months, he was rushed to the emergency room. It was not a heart attack, but a critical reduction in blood flow to a place nobody mentioned. It was not just his heart or legs. It was his lower body. His intimacy, self-esteem, and sense of closeness were fading quietly, while everyone blamed the passage of time. Hi, I'm Dr. James Holloway. For over 3 decades, I have helped men restore their strength, energy, and relationships, without shame and without harsh medication. And I want to tell you something others often ignore. Aging is not the enemy, poor blood flow is, and the best part, you can do something about it. Now this part might surprise you. Most people see eggs as just a breakfast item, maybe even something to limit, because of cholesterol fears. But what if I told you that using eggs in a particular way could actually help open up your blood vessels, enhance circulation where it truly matters, and reignite the intimacy you believed was gone for good? It may sound too easy, but what I am going to explain is backed by nutritional science that many doctors still overlook. This method is already helping men in their 60s, 70s, and even into their 80s feel more energized, more alive, and more emotionally connected. I am going to walk you through the full process, explain why it works, and show you how to use it properly. I will also reveal the one common mistake that could completely cancel out the benefits, and why doing this right makes a world of difference. So stay with me. What I am about to share may completely change how you think about breakfast and your future. Before we move forward, if you're finding this helpful, or even just curious about how to stay energized, focused, and connected after 60, go ahead and tap the subscribe button and enable notifications. That way, you will not miss any health tips made specifically for men like you. And if you're still with me, type 1 inch in the comments below. If this is not quite clicking yet, type 0. I'm always reading your feedback, and it helps me shape these messages to better support you. Now that we've opened this door, let's dive deeper into what is really happening inside the bodies of so many men over 60. Because before we can solve the problem, we need to clearly understand what is causing it. One of the most common yet overlooked struggles aging men face is not just lower energy or changes in physical performance. It is something that affects nearly every organ and function in the body. Reduced circulation, a common but hidden issue. Poor circulation. When I first started working with older men, those in their 60s and beyond, I began noticing a trend. Nearly every man who came into my office shared a similar quiet concern. They would hesitate, glance away, then say, "Doc, I just do not feel like myself anymore." At first they blamed it on age. They accepted it as part of getting older, like it was something they just had to deal with. But as I ran tests, checked their heart function, and asked deeper questions, I uncovered the truth. Age was not the real issue, circulation was. As we grow older, our blood vessels become less flexible. The walls of the arteries lose their stretch. Buildup forms, and the passages that deliver oxygen and nutrients begin to narrow. It is not sudden, it happens slowly, silently, but over time, the impact becomes clear. You may notice cold hands or feet that never really warm up. Then energy fades earlier in the day. That walk you used to enjoy now feels like a chore, and during personal, intimate moments, your body may not respond as it once did. These are not just minor changes. They are warning signs, your body's way of telling you that blood is no longer flowing like it used to. The unfortunate part, many men assume this cannot be changed. They either accept the decline or turn to medications that treat symptoms but not the root cause. But here's the truth, I've discovered over decades of helping men, there is another way. You can support healthy blood flow naturally. You can feel energetic, mentally clear, and confident again. And the answer might not be in a pill bottle, but in something far more familiar. And that brings us to something you probably never expected. How a simple everyday food, like an egg, could play a big role in improving the circulation your body is desperately asking for. Let me explain. If you're still watching, and this message resonates with you, go ahead and type 1 inch in the comments to let me know. Your support helps me continue creating meaningful content for men, just like you. Now let's talk about the deeper dangers of reduced blood flow. 2. The hidden dangers of poor circulation. Poor circulation is not just a mild inconvenience. It is not something to brush off because of age. I have had men come into my clinic complaining of cold extremities, mental fog, or feeling dizzy when standing. But underneath those surface-level symptoms was something much more dangerous. The truth is, when your blood cannot move properly, almost every organ in your body starts to suffer, and the damage runs deeper than most people imagine. Your heart is often the first to be affected. When arteries narrow or stiffen, the heart must push harder to circulate blood. That raises blood pressure, increases the risk of heart problems, and leaves you feeling exhausted. I recall a patient named Robert, a strong, active man, his whole life. He ate well, exercised, and thought he was doing everything right, yet he constantly felt drained. Tests showed his arteries were so restricted that his heart was working overtime just to perform everyday tasks. No wonder he felt so worn out. Then there's your brain. When blood flow to the brain drops, so does oxygen. You start to feel cloudy, forgetful, like your mind is not fully present. Some men have described it to me as if they are stuck behind a foggy window, there but disconnected. And of course there is the deeply personal side. The blood vessels responsible for sexual performance are among the smallest in your body. That means they are usually the first to be impacted. Reduced blood flow leads to arousal issues and changes in performance. But beyond the physical challenges is something even heavier, the emotional toll. I've met men who quietly mourn their lost confidence, their masculinity, and the connection they used to feel in their relationships. Here's what I tell them: poor circulation does not mean you are broken. It means your body is signaling for change. And that change does not always require a prescription. Sometimes, it starts with changing how you look at something as common as your morning meal. 3 eggs, the underrated solution. If someone had told me 3 decades ago that one of the most powerful, natural tools for boosting circulation and restoring vitality in aging men would be eggs, I might have laughed. Back then, just like many of my colleagues, I believed what we were all taught: eggs raise cholesterol, clog your arteries, and should be avoided, especially by older adults. But with time, experience, and observing real-life results, I saw something that changed my perspective. As I watched men move away from overly processed foods and toward whole, nutrient-rich meals, I noticed real improvement. I remember one patient vividly: Howard, a 72-year-old retired teacher, quiet, thoughtful, and deeply dedicated to his family. He came to me not because he was ill, but because, in his words, he just felt like life had lost its spark. He missed his strength, his alertness, and his deep connection with his wife. We explored his lifestyle, his sleep habits, physical activity, and meals. When I asked about breakfast, he said, usually just coffee and a slice of toast. He had avoided eggs for years, worried they were bad for his health. What he didn't know, and what many still do not, is that eggs are packed with nutrients that directly support vascular health. They provide choline, which helps maintain healthy blood vessel linings. They offer arginine, a key amino acid used to create nitric oxide, a compound that helps relax and open blood vessels. And they contain B vitamins, crucial for efficient oxygen delivery through your bloodstream. When sourced responsibly, pasture-raised organic when possible, eggs also supply beneficial fats that aid in hormone balance. So I encouraged Howard to reintroduce eggs into his morning routine, but in a very specific, healthy way. Just a few weeks later, he returned to my office with a smile. I had no idea food could make me feel this good again, he said. And his story is not unique. More and more men are rediscovering eggs, not as a threat, but as a powerful ally. But here's the catch: while eggs can absolutely support your circulation, they must be used correctly. If prepared the wrong way, they could end up harming the very systems you're trying to improve. Let's talk about what not to do, and how to keep your breakfast working in your favor. For caution, the wrong way to eat eggs can backfire. It is amazing how something as basic and natural as an egg can either support your health or quietly work against it. depending on how you prepare it. Over the years, I have seen this pattern many times. A man decides to take control of his health, adds eggs to his breakfast, and hopes for renewed energy and vitality. But instead of feeling better, he ends up feeling sluggish, heavier, or even more irritable. One patient stands out: Tom, 68, a retired contractor, tough and hardworking. He had started eating eggs again after hearing about their health benefits, but months went by, and he felt worse. When I asked how he cooked them, he replied, "Just like always, fried in vegetable oil." And that right there was the issue. When you fry eggs in processed oils like canola, soybean, or corn oil, you introduce harmful oxidized fats into your bloodstream. These oils, especially when heated to high temperatures, trigger inflammation in the arteries, the very opposite of what we are trying to accomplish. On top of that, many people still pair eggs with bacon, sausage, or other processed meats. While these may taste good, they are loaded with sodium, preservatives, and unhealthy fats that further constrict blood vessels and elevate the risk of heart disease. And let's not forget, overcooking. Cooking eggs until they're browned or rubbery may be common, but it destroys important nutrients like choline and B vitamins, nutrients your brain and circulatory system depend on. So while your intentions may be good, the preparation can make all the difference. And the good news is, the fix is simple. With just a few easy changes, you can turn eggs into a powerful part of your healing process. Let me now show you how to make the most of them, safely and effectively. 5 safe and effective ways to use eggs. Once you realize the power eggs can offer, and the risks of using them incorrectly, the next question becomes, how do I prepare them the right way? This is the part I love to share, because when you cook eggs properly and pair them with the right ingredients, they become more than just food. They become fuel. Fuel for your brain, your heart, your hormones, and your relationships. Here is what I usually recommend to my patients. Start your day with 2 pasture-raised eggs, gently prepared. That means poached, soft-boiled, or lightly scrambled on low heat, using extra virgin olive oil or grass-fed butter. This keeps all the important nutrients, like choline, B vitamins, and amino acids intact, especially the ones that support nitric oxide production and healthy circulation. Next, add a handful of lightly sautéed spinach or kale. These leafy greens contain natural nitrates that help open your blood vessels. Include half an avocado. It's full of healthy fats that support brain function, hormone health, and energy levels. And if you want to take things a step further, sprinkle on a little turmeric with black pepper. These two work together to reduce inflammation and support overall vascular health. It may sound simple, it may even seem too basic, but try this combination for just 1 week, 7 days, and watch what happens. I've had men tell me their hands and feet feel warmer. Others say their focus sharpens, their mood improves, or they feel more emotionally connected to their partners. One man even said he hadn't felt this emotionally present with his wife in years, all because he started eating with purpose in the morning. That is the power of good circulation. When your blood flows properly, everything else starts working better too. This is not about following a strict diet. It is not about cutting out all your favorite meals. It is about giving your body the raw materials it needs to do what it was designed to do. You are not trying to reverse time. You are just removing the blockages that built up along the way and letting your natural strength return. Now that you know how to prepare eggs the right way, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Because while eggs may be the beginning, they are only part of a larger truth, a truth about aging, vitality, and the life that still lies ahead. After spending over 30 years guiding men through the later seasons of their lives, one thing has become absolutely clear to me. Your body never fully gives up, unless you give up on it first. The challenges you might be facing, cold hands, low energy, emotional distance, or private frustrations, these are not signs of weakness. They are not your fault. They are your body's way of asking for help. And that help goes beyond surface-level fixes or short-term prescriptions. We started this journey by talking about something incredibly ordinary, an egg. A food so familiar that many never stop to consider its deeper potential. But now you know, it is more than breakfast. It is a source of choline to support healthy arteries, B vitamins to help your blood deliver oxygen, and amino acids to aid heart function and restore connection in your most personal moments. When used properly, eggs become a quiet but powerful partner in helping you feel sharper, stronger, and more alive, not just physically, but emotionally too. You have also learned that poor circulation is not just a small issue. It affects your heart, your memory, and your closest relationships. You've seen how easy it is to make well-intentioned mistakes, from cooking with the wrong oils, to old habits passed down from generations that simply didn't know better. But now, you do know better, and you know that healing is within reach. You do not need extreme diets or expensive treatments to move forward. Sometimes, all it takes is a simple pan, a couple of thoughtfully prepared eggs, and a commitment to take better care of yourself, starting with your next meal. I have seen men change their lives this way, not with a magic pill, not overnight, but with small intentional choices that build into something powerful. Choices made out of belief that they still had something to give, to their wives, to their families, and to themselves. So as this video ends, I want to offer a small challenge. Go to your fridge, think about what you will eat tomorrow morning, and ask yourself this: what might change if you started treating your breakfast like the start of a new chapter, instead of just another routine? Because your story is not over, and neither is your health. Let's keep the blood flowing. Let's keep your life moving forward. And if this message spoke to you, if it made you think, reflect, or feel hope, please do something small but powerful. Click the like button. It helps others find this message. Share it with someone, a friend, a brother, someone quietly struggling, who needs to hear that it is not too late. And I would truly love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Tell me if you've tried this method, if you felt a difference, or even if this is your first step toward paying attention to your health again. I read every comment, and your words could help another man feel seen, supported, and less alone. Because this is not just a video, it is a conversation about living with strength, purpose, and connection. Let's continue it together.